Hello, hello. Hello, crafty friends. Stacy here. It's the first Saturday in February, which means I am here with another card class featuring a Stampin' Up! Bundle. So for February, I'll tell you how all this works. So each month, I take a Stampin' Up! Bundle, I create a card class. I sell my tutorials and pre-cut kits on my website, craftydivausa.com. Now, if you shop with me in the in this month, so anyone who shops with me in February places a $25 order net Stampin' Rewards shipping and tax, I will send you the tutorial for free. So everybody is welcome to my tutorials or card kits. If you shop with me, you get the current month free automatically. You don't need to do anything. I will send it to you via email. And if you want to purchase it, I sell the tutorials and I sell the pre-cut kits, and lovely arrangements will be up on my site by this afternoon. So I want to say, if you've been following me for a while, I am not a floral girl. Nope, no, not. No, not. And I wanted to really stretch myself and pick a floral bundle and go with it. And to be honest, I was challenged, but I love the results and the cards I've made, and more cards I've made, and more projects that I've done that I will give to you this month throughout February. So this is the stamp set. Love these sentiments. Right? You get these nice floral pieces. And then here is the die cuts. And that is lovely arrangements. Now, the DSP that goes along with that set is called Lovely Blossoms. So here I have the front and back side of each of the DSP, and you receive two of each in each pack. So here is the item number for that, and it's 12 sheets. So two of each, and these are all the designs that you will get. So that is also a fun DSP pack. And here are the die cuts. I cut each one out as I was sitting down to start to create. Like I said, I was challenging myself. I die cutted all the pieces, put it in front of me, and then started creating from there. So that is the die cuts. Now, the only other items that I brought into this card class that are still available are the Spotlight on Nature dies 163580 and the exposed brick 3D embossing folder, and that is 161600. So when I created these cards, those were still available. Okay, so let me now show you the cards, and we're going to do lots of techniques today. So we are going to be doing inking techniques, creating die cuts, shiny die cuts out of packaging paper. We're going to do second generation stamping, coloring, blur inking, blur blending. That's what I call it. It's a technique that I like to do, and that's the name I've given it. So lots of techniques we're going to do today. So here is card one, and this is also a bookbind card fold. So there's your fun fold. And here we have some tone on tone stamping. I did some embossing and coloring. We're going to emboss today. I use a lot of gold embossing in these cards. So that's card one. Here's card two. This is, see how shiny those are? These are just stamps that I created die cuts with and used packaging tape to make them shiny. This is that exposed brick embossing folder. Love that. So that is card two. Card three, I brought in a little bit of vellum here and did background stamping. As you can see, very light on that petal pink, tone on tone. Used some stamping blends. Again, we embossed here. Love this DSP. I do really love the colors in that one. And then card four, like I said, this is blur. I call it blur inking. So blur blending. Okay, and instead of using my blends to color, I'm going to show you a really quick way to color using your blending brushes and your ink pads. And if this looks familiar, this is a card from the catalog. So I cased this from the catalog just by looking at it and created this card. And I really love this. So it might be hard to see because this is Secret C cardstock, but that is this die right here. So we use two of those, but it's the same color. So that's card 4. So like I said, I'm not a floral girl, right? But I wanted to challenge myself and use a floral bundle. So let's get to it. I'm going to get these out of the way. This might be a little bit of a longer class today, only because we have I have lots of techniques here that I want to show you. So I'm just straightening up, and I do need my score. I'm going to grab my little scoreboard because I do need that. Oh, let me move this out of the way. I do need that just for that bookbind gold, and don't know where that is. So I have my Stampin' Up! Trimmer because that also is a scoreboard. Okay, so let me get my pieces for card 1. Oh, and also all of the envelopes you see, I have covered my envelopes with the DSP on the back. So I'll show you how to do that as well. I've been doing that a lot, stamping on my envelopes and whatnot. So now, if you do get one of my card kits, this is how it comes. This is how it will come to you. All the bits and pieces, everything's embossed. You just have to do the stamping. I can't do that for you per Stampin' Up! Policy. So that's your inside piece. Okay, here is your card base. Okay, we're just going to do a little score. If you see here, so if you open your card, you just want to do a little score right here. I believe that's a, yeah, half an inch. And that's all you do to make that book bind. So here's our card base. This is the only card that I use those, what are they called? Spotlight on Nature dies. I use the coordinating dies. One's a little bit smaller so that they can layer on top of each other. Hi, Susan. Good morning. All right, and then you'll get these pieces here. We're going to just stamp on this leaf. You get a little leaf right here. These we're going to stamp on, so we're going to pull out all of our stamping pieces. Now, just for sake of time, because I'm going to show you heat embossing. We all know how to heat emboss. I went ahead and already did my flower here because that'll just take a little extra time. So all I did was I stamped it in my Versamark ink. We all know what that is, right? Stamped it in Versamark. I sprinkled my gold embossing powder, and then I heat set that. And then I colored it with my light. No, this I use my dark. My dark, that's the light. I use my dark petal pink Stampin' Blends. Okay, so I just did that already just to get that out of the way. And we'll move this out of the way. Now for the inside here, I used a stamp from my stash. So be sure to use anything you want. But all I did was stamp one of the flowers off. So that's what we're going to do. So here's all my stamping pieces. I'm going to move this off to the side. So you're going to take your card base and you're going to take your darn it, what do you call this? Oh my goodness, I lost Stacy. Use your words. Your yes, my fold, my embossing, my brain, you're catching me having a total brain fart, everybody. So you're going to take your score. Oh my God. Hey Jean, how are you? Yes, lots of things we're going to cover in this card class today. Okay, so here's your card base, right? All you want to do is you want to go to a half an inch mark and you want to score. So I have mine right here. I'm going to line because I have my card base already, or you want to say 4 1/4. So at the 4, you want to move that back to, so if this is 4 1/4, you want to move this to 3 3/4. That will give you a 1/2 inch score. Let me come in a little closer so you see what I'm doing here. Okay. So because I already have my crease in my card fold already. So I'm at the 3 3/4 inch mark. I'm going to move my trimmer blade and my scoring blade. I am just going to score. The word that I could not think of. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what happens when you have a crazy, crazy work week. I was even a speaker at a conference yesterday, so I just had such a busy week. Now, all we want to do is right here on this fold, that score line is just fold that a moment. Okay, inward and outward. And then you're going to take, I'm going to use some tear and tape, just some adhesive, and put that right down on that side. And then you're going to just seal it. And that's all you're going to do there. Super, super easy. And that makes a bookbind fold. Okay, so we're going to take this piece off. And we're going to seal that. And that is how you make that. So now our card opens like a bookbind. So you could have even done this first or done your stamping first and then do that. So however you want to do it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to do some stamping. So we need this piece. Maybe I'll move in a little bit. We're going to stamp here. We're going to need this piece right here. We're going to need our card base and then these two pieces. So let's do our embossing, our heat embossing first. So we're going to put sending smiles on this one and happy birthday on this one. And you absolutely use whatever you want to use, right? You could substitute this for any other stamp set that you have in your stash. So I need my Versamark ink. I have that out. I do have my coffee filter and my gold embossing powder. I love to use the coffee filters because then I just dump it back into my jar. So there's no waste there. So we want these two pieces right here. So happy birthday is going to go on this small one here. So just load that up. And I apologize if my head gets in the way. And I just rub it on my desk a little bit. Happy birthday. And then you want to come in with your embossing powder and sprinkle that on top. I like shake it, let it sit there a minute, and then I tap it all off. And I'm just bringing it up closer to myself right now and blowing on it. So that we're just going to set that aside for a moment, move this out of the way. And now we're going to do sending smiles. So we're going to ink this up with the Versamark. And I'm going to stamp that. Just like that. And same deal. We're going to dump some embossing powder. Cover up your Versamark pad always. You don't want to contaminate anything there. I kind of just tap it like this. Just like that. Okay, and then, so sometimes you get this like smudge right there that won't come off. So I have several things. I have some brushes like this. I have long Q-tips like this. So what I do is I kind of just come in and wipe that away, flick it a little bit more. Otherwise, when you heat it, you'll just have some little dots, and that is totally, totally okay. My little happy birthday had some here I wanted to get off. Perfect. Okay, so now the purpose of the coffee filter is this. Dump it in there so we have no waste. And these embossing powders last years, years. Okay, get this out of the way. I'm going to grab my third hand, which means I'm grabbing my tweezers. I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! Heat Gun. I'm going to have it just going for a minute just to heat up. I'm holding, and you'll see this turn over. I apologize for the noise. And you guys, I don't do no editing or anything. So if you're catching the replay on YouTube, just fast forward a few seconds. I like to be me. I like to be raw, make mistakes, whatever. I don't need to edit. I don't need to learn something else. All right, there's my sending smiles. Let me pick up my happy birthday. I love heat embossing. I just love that shiny effect. And it's okay. So see how I have a few, let's see if that focuses. Oh, I guess you can't tell on camera. I have a few little speckles that heat set in, but that's totally okay. I mean, no big deal. All right. Next, I want to take our inside piece. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper because I'm just going to stamp off the edge here. So I want to take my petal pink, and I'm going to take the solid flower here up, and it's not a solid, it's outlined, but you get a half of one and a full one. And all I want to do is, just like I have in here, in the corner, stamp about 3/4 of the flower. Perfect. Okay, so we have that. We can set that on the side. And now I'm gonna bring in that cluster, and I'm gonna grab the coordinating stamp, and I'm using the old olive. And you don't have to do this part if you don't want, right? This is the effect you're going to get. It's just that kind of stamp, but you certainly can leave this piece out. And I'm going to try to line this up, not putting my head in the way, but we'll see how good I did. I think I did pretty dang good. All right, that's it with the green. All right, now you would make your flower, which I already did that. No more stamping here, except for our card base. So I need to clean. Oh no, I used petal pink, so I don't have to clean it. I need to get my stamp again and my petal pink, and all I'm going to do. So let me show you my first card. I want to stamp. This is tone on tone. I'm using petal pink ink on petal pink cardstock, and I'm just like random. See, like a little piece of it, a half of it here. I went in further on the corner. I'm just giving a subtle look, and you only really need to stamp around the edge because the inside here gets covered up. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get my petal pink ink, my stamp. Just want to stamp once off the paper. Okay. Just like this. Just keep going all the way around. And it's okay if they touch into one another, overlap one another. It's totally okay. Okay. All right. So I'll bring this up closer just so you can see. I swear I need a bigger desk. You see what I'm saying there? How I just went all the way around. Love the way that looks. Okay. I think I'm done with the stamping. Yes. That's this. Don't forget, if you want to do any stamping on your envelope, to be sure to do that. I didn't on this card. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is here's my DSP. Now we're just going to put this together, right? So we have this piece that goes here, and then I would add that. So how I did it, you can either put this piece here and have a bigger border, or you could, which I did, is first adhere your strip there and then put this right up against your strip. So I'm going to grab my silicone craft mat and put that over here. And I'm going to grab my strip. That's going to be the first thing I put on. I don't have my desk light on because I feel like it was giving me a glare, but I am looking what you're seeing on screen, and I think it looks pretty good. But it is a little dark for me. I'm having trouble, so I might have to turn on one of my desk lamps. I try to make it so there's not glares that you see, but it's very hard. So just like that, and I put it right at the crease. Okay, so it's not obstructing anything. It's right at the crease. And now I'm just going to adhere this, butt it up right against that. Now, in my tutorial, you'll receive all the pieces so you know all the dimensions to cut all of these pieces, right? Like I'm not going to go over all of that with you here, but it's all in the tutorial. There is full color pictures, cutting guide, assembly instructions, and then you can always come back and refer to this video for any of the techniques if you want it. Okay, so now these are those, let's just take the inside layer and you can stamp anything you want. I'm just going to leave this card blank. Don't know what I'm going to put in here yet. And all you're going to do is just butt that up against the inside corner there and then push that down. Okay, so now you're going to take these two layers, and these I have no dimension. I just have them layered together. So that's what you're going to want to do is just layer these two. If you want dimension, by all means, go ahead and add some dimension. Now, again, no dimension. I just have it adhered down to my card base. Now, if you don't have the nature spotlight on nature dies, you can certainly cut out. Let me tell you what size circles these are. I'm going to say they're probably 3 and 2. The green one is about 2 3/4, and the white one is about 2 1/4. Okay, so if you have punches or other layering dies, you can certainly use those. And then you just want to like eyeball this in the center best you can and put it down. Don't need to be crazy and pop out the rulers. Now, on these two pieces, I want these popped up. So I have, I use this all the time. I have this foam tape. So I'm just going to cut a strip. I do have ours that I use for when I make shaker cards, which I could have used, but I just do this. Look at that. Almost perfect. Let's just cut off a little piece of that edge. Okay, and then I can use this other piece for this one right here. So that is going to go there. This one's going to go here, a little off-centered, so you can adhere those down. Susan, I hope you're staying warm. And my Florida friend on here, Jean, girl, how cold has it been? I know we can't complain, right? When we see other parts of the country, but 20s for Florida, no, thank you. Okay, it was 28 the last week here. I had a screenshot that on my phone for the county that I live in, was a record. Okay, so there's our two sentiments. Love it. All right, now what I did was I took my image here. And listen, I don't want to get crazy. All I kind of do is I put the leaf where I want, and then I just grab my handy Scotch tape that I always have on my craft desk, and I just put a little piece of tape there, right? Then I come in with this other little baby leaf, this little lonesome guy all by himself, and I just kind of set that where I want it. Cool, that looks good. Do the same thing with a little Scotch tape. Don't need to be fancy. The cod is fancy. So that's that. Okay, so that goes there. If you don't want dimension, you can certainly just adhere that down. I'm going to put some dimension on the back here. So now you can, because this is all going to be like the same layer since you just taped it down the same height, just put your dimension wherever you want. Okay. And I think we have a few enamel dots on this card, and then we are done. So we want to put that smack in the middle. Very simple, but I think it came out beautiful myself. This was my first card I designed that I was challenging myself on. So what I'm using here is the Moody Palette Glossy Dots 167180. They also go with this set. I'm going to put that larger white one there and then a smaller one off centered. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. One larger one and one smaller one. A little hard to see, right? But I just think it gives a little touch. So let me move all my junk out of the way and we'll bring the cards up. Okay. So there we have it. Let me just zoom out a little bit. So this is the card we made. Here was our sample card. I hope you enjoyed card 1. We are going to move on to card 2. Oh, but before we do that, okay, so I believe this. So what you have to do is, depending on the envelopes you use, you measure your flap. So the ones I'm using, 6x2 is what I need. So I'm going to come in again. I don't want to waste my good Stampin' Seal. I'm going to use my other adhesive. And all you want to do is completely cover your flap with adhesive and then line up your your DSP over all that adhesive and just press down. Okay. So on mine, I don't have too much waste. I've measured that. So be sure to measure yours. And now you're going to come in with some good snips and trim all that excess off. Just follow along your envelope flap. Just like this, all the way around. So you can do this with any envelope, any size. And there you have a fun flap. Now, also stamp the front if you want with a little coordinating image. I didn't on this card, but I'll move this out of the way. And hold on, let's me clean up a little bit here, and we will move on to card 2. I have my Stampin' Scrub off to the side, so I'm just cleaning my stamps. Don't know which ones I'm going to need again, so I just like to have them all clean next to me. All right, here's card 2. I'll bring you in a little bit closer just to check it out while I get set up. Here is the envelope. So I did the same thing. I'm not going to repeat that and show you. You know what to do. I already showed you. But I did add just a little focal stamp on the front there. So just to show you. Okay, and here is my pieces and parts to the card. Let me zoom out now. And this is where we're going to learn that fun masking tape technique. So if you remember, unless you're just jumping on, we're going to take any stamped image, make it a die cut, and make it super glossy. So I know, Jean, so tired of the cold. Me too. It was 85 yet. What? Is that real life, Susan? It wasn't even 85 degrees here. Wow. That's crazy. Yes, I know. Well, it's funny because we had 28 degrees, what Janice is mentioning. Hey, Janice. But the week before, the Sunday before, it was 28, it was 85, and I was laying in the sun. I was down in South Florida with my husband. We were at the casino, and the next week, it was 28 degrees. Crazy. All right, so this is what we're gonna do on this card. And here is that is it called exposed brick? Yes, exposed brick 3D embossing. embossing folder. So super fun design, just a great like just will go with everything sort of. Texas weather, right? Florida, same deal here, right? Okay, this is for my envelope, so we're not going to do that. I already showed you that in the last one. You know what to do. This is our panel, so all we're going to do is layer these two panels together, right? Super easy. This is our inside layer. Here is our inside layer for the bottom. That's going to go right there. Fun little, a little added extra there. This is going to be for our front. We want to layer that together. We'll get back to this. And then this goes along our card front. Ta-da, we'll get to that. You'll see that next. All right, so we're going to have to stamp hello friend here. So let's pull out all of our stamping pieces. So let's do that masking tape technique and our stamping. So that's what we stamped. You can stamp anything you want in the center. Okay, I've used from that always here for you, and that's from that set. I just don't have that on my block right now, so I'm just going to leave that alone. I'll go back and stamp it. So that's adhering. We need this to stamp, and we need this. So I went ahead already, and in my Memento Black ink, I stamped two of the flowers. So I just stamped two of them. So that we'll get back to, but I do need my memento and my hello friend because that's what I'm going to stamp in that middle sentiment right there. So let's just do hello friend really fast, and then we'll get to those flowers. Sweet. Okay. Oh, you know what? While I have my ink out, where is my envelope? Let me just do that. I had the flower stamping off just a little bit. Where is that? Just like that. Just adds a little extra to your envelope. And then you want to make sure you go ahead and cover your envelope too. Okay, let me get this out of the way. So masking tape, not masking tape. That would not work. Packaging tape. Scott packaging tape or whatever brand packaging tape you have, whatever width, doesn't matter, just needs to cover in one pass your surface. You don't want to layer it together if you get what I mean. So what you want to do is just stamp your image, right? If you're going to color it, get it ready, it's done. You're ready to die cut it out. But before you die cut it out, you want to take a piece of packaging tape, and this is why you don't want to layer it. You want to make sure the width of your packaging tape at least covers the width of your image, because say it only covered 3/4 of my image, well, you got to butt it up against each other perfectly. So the Scotch tape I have, this works. This is about a 2 inch. And all I'm doing is laying up, bring it up closer, but I'm just laying the packaging tape over my image. Now, this, you don't want to flap it over because we're going to die cut these out. So you want to take your scissors that you cut with adhesive, remember, different scissors, and just trim off those edges, because if you die cut that out, it would be sticky on the other end, and you don't want that. It might be. No, that's if you use the double-sided adhesive. I don't know. I cut it off. Either way, Stacy doesn't want to think right now. I just want to craft. I don't want to think. I just want to craft. And you all are crafters, so you get what I'm saying. Okay. And then you want to take the die that coordinates. Now, I will tell you, this is a little frustrating, you guys, but you got to keep going around until you find, I think it's this one goes here. You got to find, nope, where it lines up. There it is. Okay. So you line up, and then you're going to die cut it out. Again, sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with me die cutting these out because I wanted to do this live with you. And like I said, I don't edit. So you're just gonna hang with me while I cut these two out. Okay. Here's one that I love it. It's super glossy and shiny. I love it. Okay. I could just sit here all day and look at that. Now line up your second one. Now, if you purchase my card kit, I can't stamp this for you. So you're going to have this stamp set or a similar one with florals that you can print out. You'll get all the bits and pieces, but you'll want to do this. So you'll want to be sure you have a set in your stash if you're not picking up the lovely arrangement stamp set. But you can do this with any stamp set you have. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the packaging tape with to cover it, or you can properly butt it up against one another. Okay, so let me just show you now. Here's your two pieces and that. So see that? Just cut it out. Super easy. It doesn't ruin your die machine. I mean, not mine at least. And there you have these two great stamped images on cardstock. So they're nice and firm. So I love that. So I had gone ahead already and did this one. So now again, all I didn't stamp this and color it. I stamped it with the leaf. So there's no outline. Okay, and then I just die cut it out with that coordinating die. But I first put, after I stamped it, I put a piece of the packaging tape. Okay, so that was that technique. Now we are going to, did I stamp my hello friend? Yes, I did, but where did it go? Somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Anyone see it? Here it is, under my stamp over here. Okay, so now we want to start layering these pieces together. So this striped piece, again, doesn't matter which direction, you just got to make sure you cut it properly because the width and the height are different. See, I have the stripes going down on this one and they're going across on this one. Okay, and now we're going to take this piece right here. This strip is going to layer across, and you want to go ahead and stamp your inside sentiment before you adhere this to the inside of your card. Which I don't have this stamp set out, but I want to follow my own direction. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to take it always here for you. There it is. Just get this on the block so I can stamp appropriately. Always here for you. And I did that. I probably did that. I think I did it in Secret C, but I'm going to use my Memento since it's right here. I love Secret C. I love it, but I don't have it right here on my desk. Always here for you. And I'm putting that more at the top. I like to stamp at the top and leave the center for a space to write. Okay, so we're good there. Now this, we're going to adhere this piece to that panel. This is cloud cover, this panel that we're adhering to. It's like a, I don't know, what do you think it is? Like a blue-gray? It's kind of like green toned in it. Okay, there's that. We did that piece. This has to go adhere down to the front of our card base. And just a tip, when you have 3D embossed images like this, you want to just be careful when you put your adhesive down. Don't be super rough, okay? And there's about 1/4 of an inch around on this one. Okay, so now we are going to take this panel and just go straight down, no dimension, just adhere that straight down to the card front. Just going to make sure I get a nice amount of adhesive on here because this is a 3D embossed piece. I'm going to put this right about there. Now this panel, I'm going to put foam tape, use your 3D foam dots. I'm just going to use tape just to make it a little bit easier and quicker for me because I'm on video here. Today it's beautiful though here in Florida. Not quite warm enough for my pool, but it's going to be, I think, like 66 tomorrow, 68, 70. We're warming up again. All right, so you just want to, right there, adhere that down on your dimensionals so that this piece pops up. I really like this design. Okay, now your hello friend, because this is going to layer against your card here, there's dimension, right? You see that down there? So all you need to do is put a piece of foam on the piece that is going to attach so that it's even. Okay, so how I do that is I just kind of turn it over right there. So I know I need a piece of foam on that side. Just a small piece, just like that. See what I mean? Okay, and then here I just put a little swipe of tape runner. So I'm going to put hello friend right about there. Perfect. Okay, so now how we're going to do these two is, again, I'm just going to get them in the position that I want them, hold them, and put a little piece of Scotch tape on the back side. Just like that, super easy. Same thing with my leaf here, right? Because this is going to go right there, so it doesn't matter. I just want to get that into position, hold it, flip it over, and put a piece of Scotch tape, right? Then get that in position. Now, part of your flower is going to hang over. So same deal. On this edge right here, we just want to put a little bit of foam adhesive. So let's get that back in position. So I know this corner of my flower, I want to put adhesive. So right here, I want to put dimension. Okay, you follow? So now there's dimension on that. Let me flip it over so you can see. See, right there. So it lines up. And then the rest will just have tape runner. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some tape runner on the back all over. And I'm going to take this tape off here. Perfect. Now let me show you. Oh, see, let me go from the top. There you go. See how it's the same dimension? Perfect. All right, now you're going to adhere that inside panel. Let's get that. And then we're going to add a few of those glossy dots on the front in the middle of the flower. And then card 2 is finished. Right. Just like that. Fun, fun, fun. All right, so we're going to come back with those moody dots. And we want to take 2 black ones and put it in the middle here. So we're going to use the smaller ones. Just like that. Like move these around before you push them in totally down. There you go. Okay, and then you're going to take the Secret C color here and get a large one. Put it here and a smaller one. And then do the same thing over here. All right. Love this card. Love this card. I loved challenging myself. Right, Susan? I love using the Scotch tape. It's just, I was always doing the tape runner or the liquid glue and it was moving, and Scotch tape I just found to be so much more easier. Okay, we are moving along. Let me just clean up my surface here, and then we'll get to card 3. I'll pull card 3 out so you can see it and just take a look at all of its beauty. Okay. That out of the way, that out of the way. Okay. We are moving on. Here is for all my bits and pieces for number 3. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, I did all the coloring. All right. It doesn't take rocket science for what I did. I stamped 3 images of the flower. I colored 2 with my dark Stampin' Blends and 1 with my light stamping blend. Easy peasy. I didn't need to do this on camera. Okay. Those are my 2 dark ones. This is my light one. So that's all I did there. So I pre-did that. Here's my piece of vellum. I have to say, Stampin' Up! Vellum is super thick. I have other vellum and I have close to my heart vellum, but I did get the Stampin' Up! Because, of course, I need to know what I'm using in my products or what my customers may buy or if they have questions on it, if I'm going to demonstrate something. And the Stampin' Up! Is super thick. So I really like that. Good to emboss, good to die cut. I haven't done it yet on this card, but just saying in general, because the other vellum I have, when I've ever tried to emboss it, it would always crack. So I think this is going to be good. That is giving me some ideas for other classes. But here's your vellum. Again, this is to cover your envelope flap. So we're not gonna need to do that today. And I did stamp, if you could see, just 2 super light petal pink off to the side. So don't neglect your envelopes. We're going to emboss. We're going to emboss thank you here. So let's bring out our pieces. Then you got a lot of these Secret Sea leaves here. These little ones. You got a few poking out. There's 6, I think. Yeah. Okay, so you got those. Here's your piece for our front cover. This is our inside piece, and all I did was stamp lightly, tone on tone, a petal pink in the corner. So we'll do some stamping on that. And then we're going to do some stamping on here. Let's see if you could see it under the vellum. Let's see, I can look under the vellum. I have the tone on tone stamping there, but it just pokes through very subtly on the vellum. Now, if your vellum is lighter or thinner, you will see this, it'll come through more. Or if you wanted to use a dark offsetting color. Now, I would say, and I think it would look super cool if you did that background stamping, maybe in Secret Sea. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't want to do that on this video because I don't want to. If it doesn't look right, this is actually the tutorial. So if you get my tutorial, come back to watch it. So I want to do it this way, but I might try that and make another card. All right. Anywho, and then here's our card base out of that Secret Sea. Again, if I didn't tell you I love it, I do love it. Okay, so let's do all of our stamping. We'll move this out of the way for now. Okay, so where is my scrap paper? So for on here, we are just going to take that petal pink in our flower. Oh, I got to clean this. Okay. Okay. And all we're going to do is stamp all the way around here. Okay. Edges, middle. Now, something I do want to share that I like to make background stamping paper, background paper, your own custom background paper. And sometimes I always start around the edge, but then it's hard to fit my stamp in the middle. So I'm going to give you some things to think about when you do this. Stamp in the middle first, right? Get those big images in the middle and then start to fill in off to the sides. And again, Stacy needs to listen to her own advice that she gives all of her crafty friends, because I didn't do that on this one and I was struggling. I'm like, how am I going to fit the stamp in there? And I'm like, oh, Stacy, stamping 101. Yes, like the way this is coming out so much better doing that. Okay. Oh, I love the way that came out. Okay. Next we are going to do oh, inside. I have one off to a corner there. Just like that. That's our inside piece. Then we are going to do thank you for the front. And where is that? Did I have that piece? Yes, here it is. Okay. All right. So we are going to need our gold embossing powder. We are going to need our Versamark. You guys, you don't know how messy my desk gets by card 3 or card 4. It takes me like a good hour almost to get my craft room back in order after I do a class. I swear, I'm such a like messy stamper. Okay, so I want my thank you for this one. Now, oh, and I wanted to show you a trick too. If you have an embossing buddy, take your embossing buddy, which I didn't do in the other ones, and you can put that over your entire image and it won't stick. The embossing powder won't stick to that if there's no Versamark there for it to adhere to. So I'm just taking my thank you and getting that right in the middle there. Oh, I got to bring it closer. Sorry. Okay. Now I'm going to grab that, cover it with gold embossing powder. Again, I leave it there for a second. I like tap, tap, tap. So it's moving around. And then because you wiped it with the your embossing buddy, you shouldn't really have any extra sprinkles that stay around, which I don't. All right, so I'm going to dump this back in. And then I give it a tap off in my garbage can, and the surface is none the cleaner. Okay, now where are we up to? Oh, we need to heat this bad boy up. Okay, let me grab my heat gun. Let's start heating this up. Sorry for the noise. Just fast forward if you're watching the replay. Okay. Let that just set a moment. Okay. I'm going to just move back out. All right. So I'm going to come in with my card base now. We're going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to take, this is my favorite design out of this pack. So there's just a little bit of an eighth poking out. So we just want to adhere this down. Y'all know I love my eighths of an inch. Okay. And then take that inside panel. Go ahead and stamp whatever sentiment you're going to use. I'm okay coming back to it. Or, sometimes for a thank you card, you don't even need that inside stamped. You just want to stamp the front thank you. That says it all, right? And then the inside you can just personalize and handwrite. Okay, so now I'm going to take that piece of vellum and it's completely covered. But look, see how you get that subtle look through? Now, normally working with vellum, you have to use vellum tape or vellum adhesive. But since my focal image is going to go straight down the middle, it's all going to pretty much be covered up. So I'm totally fine just putting adhesive kind of like straight down the middle here because you're not going to see it. And line these up properly so they completely cover one another. So that doesn't even really bother me, but you see how you could see my strip of adhesive right there? That's totally fine. But this edge is lifted up, no big deal. Okay, so now you're going to take that panel and then just, I didn't put any dimension here either, just straight down to the paper. So you want to hear that right in the middle there. Okay, so now we just got to get this cluster made now. So what I did was I put the two darker ones kind of in the top, like see how it's pointing a little bit to that corner, this one's to that corner, and then this one's going to be popped up in the middle. So you need to take, so these come, when you die cut them out, there's a double and a single. Okay, so you betcha I'm going to use my Scotch tape. I'm going to get where I want those leaves poking out, just like that. However, flip it around, get it in position. Nope, that's not good. Let's do one at a time. So let's get this in position. Yeah, I love it. And then let's get this in position. That looks good. And what's great about the Scotch tape, if you don't like it, you can pull it up. Okay, so I have this one kind of there like that. It's okay that it's this one's a little different and it's poking off where that one wasn't. And here we're going to do the same thing. You want to take this double one. This is going to go out the bottom. So right about there. And then take a single one and do the same thing right about there. And flip it over and then put a piece of tape. All right. I try to do like repetitive things. Okay, and I think that's perfect. Okay, so these two here, you just want to either use liquid glue or just for the sake of the video, I think I used liquid glue here, but for the sake of timing, I'm just going to get adhesive and be very delicate on these leaves. Just want to get a little tiny bit on there. Just like that. Same deal here, a little bit of adhesive, leaves. This one's going to go, you just got to make sure you clear the edge of your card. See, I can't go there because it's hanging off the side of the card. So you just got to make sure you clear the card. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to grab two of those larger black enamel dots and put them in the middle of these two flowers, just like that. Okay, so now for this center one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up the double leaf. And then we're going to grab that single one. And put that right there. I want that one kind of close. Okay, perfect. Now on this one, we need dimensionals. Okay. And that one's going to go right in the center. And then we're going to take our thank you and however you want to put it. But I think right about there is good. So this one's just a little tiny bit different, which is totally fine. What if I put it this way? Hold on. Nope, nope, nope. It has to go that way. And put your thank you right about there. And I'm going to put a little bit of a tiny, right to the edge here, not tiny, but one piece of foam adhesive on each corner of the sentiment. But actually, I don't know. I might have to take that off. I don't think I need that. Let me check. Let's put that one in the center. Did I have on this one? Oh, I didn't. Just take them off. First, I want to put adhesive in the center so that it sits. And I might not need any other adhesive. I don't think I do. Just in the center like that. And there is card 3. Okay. Fun card. We did our inside right. Just be sure to stamp that. And don't forget, do your envelope. Okay. That is card 3. Now we're getting on to card 4, the final card. The final and my favorite technique of this class is blur inking. Okay, so here is card 4. Super fun. Clustered up these flowers here. I think I have 2 here, 3 here. Got lots of those leaves in the what color is this? I love that color. Lemon lime twist. And then the inside, just a simple, that's a die cut. It's not a stamp. Cute. All right, so I'm going to keep this here. Yes, me too. I love the bright colors of this one. So, with that, let me tell you what colors I use. So for this blur inking, I use strawberry slush for those, and I used pumpkin pie for these. This is lemon lime twist, and then secrecy. Just the colors just go beautiful together. All right, so I'm going to show you what to do, but I did go ahead and do a lot of these already, but I'm going to show you the technique. So, and again, envelope, I covered up the back flap there. I didn't do any additional stamping, just covered the back flap. Yay, my words today. Okay, so let me get out all my pieces to this card. No, don't stick to the adhesive. Okay. Okay. And you bring these in so you see. Okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right, so here are our lemon lime twist leaves. Okay, this is where this piece, I'm just gonna show you how to do this technique. We're gonna stamp thank you on our sentiment. This is our inside piece. I have so very much, so thank you so very much. We're gonna stamp that inside. This is our piece for my envelope flap. And our card base. Okay, so here's just our secrecy card base and these 2 panels. So I cut 2 of these out. So all you're going to do with these, I love it. Just put some foam. Can you see some foam? I have some dots there, right? And these are just going to get layered one on top of the other. Okay, so let's just do that now so that we can just get that out of the way and then we'll get to the stamping. So you want to take these, you want to flip them over, you want to take your 3D adhesive squares, and you just want to put, like on the edge, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the other edge. And these cover perfectly. So that's it. So now it's like a floating die cut there. You don't see any adhesive or anything. So you want to just do the same thing here. And then 2 in the middle. Okay, so all we want to do is pull the backs off these. I would get the one that's not adhered first in position so that you visually can tell where you want the top one to go. Perfect. Now do that other piece. Super Bowl is tomorrow. I'm excited. My husband's going to make some food. We have the pool heater on, so I know it sounds weird, but since it's going to be like 70 and sunny, probably go swimming a little bit, hang out in the backyard. Okay. That's it for this piece right here. Okay. So now let's just do our stamping here and then we'll get to that blurred inking. Let me clean this up out of the way. All right. So we need thank you. I am using Secret C here, so let me grab that. It's just that I pulled it out. I'm using Secret C in next month's card class. Wait till you see that, the gears and textures. It is my favorite class so far, from last year to this year so far. Love, love, love the gears and textures. I hope you pick it up and you craft with me next month with that kit. Okay, so we need thank you. Stay tuned. I'll have a sneak peek video up and not a sneak peek, but a walkthrough to show you the cards for next month soon. Okay, thank you. Sweet. And then this, so very much. So very much. Ah, too much rocking. There we go. Actually, I'm going to do that over. I'm not happy the way that came out. So I will do my inside piece, but that's what you do. So very much. All right. Now let's get to the main technique of this card. So what you want to do is you want to stamp. Let me clean my stamp here. Stamp your flowers, whatever image. This works great on animal images. I did this a lot on animal images. So you just want to do your stamps. I'm just going to use the large stamp for now to kind of give you an idea what you do. Okay. Stamp it up. Stamp it up. Stamp your images. And be sure to leave space between them because you need to die cut them out, right? Okay, just let that dry a second. And then you want to take your ink. So I'm going to do that. I'll do all of them in strawberry slush. Well, I'll do both. I'll tell you, I'll do two in strawberry slush and one in pumpkin pie. Just so you can see. So any image, but it's got to be a bigger image, but it works good with this size. Okay. So you're just going to ink up, get some ink. I'm going to use this as a scrap because I'm going to do it over. So you want to ink up your blending brush. And I tap off to get that excess off, right? Because you just want a light. And we're going to use a light hand. All right. All you want to do is see, I did a little bit too hard of a hand. And that's because my hand, I was trying to clean something off there and I slipped with my hand, but lightly blending. So see how I got that hard color right there? I don't like that one. So we're going to just do another one here. So off the image, lightly blending. So instead of coloring, you're just coloring the image in with ink blending. So see the difference? See that? And I'm glad I did that so you could you see my mess ups because I like you to see the mess ups so that you don't do them. So you want to make sure you tap, 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 you have all that off. And then if you want it a little darker, you go in more and put down a little bit more color. You can actually do half and half if you wanted like an ombre effect. Now, even though I have another stamped image here, I didn't contaminate that one. So now I'm going to take my pumpkin pie and take another um, brush, tap off that excess so I don't have any hard lines, and then just light pressure. I'm barely putting pressure. So then you can do so many different colors. So that's the idea. Super easy. Blur, I call it blur inking because it's like a blur. Now let me show you. I already went ahead and did all the ones for today's card. So here is the pumpkin pie, and here is the strawberry slush. So again, I had a piece of white, basic white. I stamped my images, and as you can see, I did strawberry slush here, strawberry pumpkin pie, these three, excuse me, and strawberry slush here. Let me take a quick drink. Okay. So that is a really cool effect if you want to make a whole bunch of flowers and not sit there and color them all, right? So blur, inking, blending, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so back to our card. So now all we're going to do is we're definitely going to use our Scotch tape for this. And you're just going to visualize. So I have three of the pumpkin pie. So this small pumpkin pie one is what I will use on the inside of the card base if I want, unless I want to make clusters of all three. But all you're doing is putting them together, making a cluster. I want one on the top and three on the bottom, just like that. So see how I kind of just clustered them together? So it doesn't matter if you're using the full flower or the half a flower. I think that cluster like that right at the bottom looks good because thank you is going to be in the middle. So I'm holding it like that. I got the three pieces together. So that at least I can maneuver it now. Okay, so there's that one. Let's do the same up here. And you know what? I might just do three. I might not even put one on the inside of this card since I didn't do my inside layer yet. I got to redo it. But same deal. If I wanted to do three, I think that looks good. With those three, flip them over. You'll see it better after I have the tape. There's no right or wrong way. Look. Okay, so see, I don't like that one, but this is what's good with the tape. I can just pull this off. Pull the tape up and get it back to a position I like. Perfect. Okay, so that is that piece there, unless we want to do it like this. Oh, I like that better. Okay, I like that with the 3 and 3. Okay, so now, and then thank you is going to go in the middle right here. And then these will make sure they come in just a little bit more. So it kind of meets up in the middle, right? All right, so now you want to get these in place, your leaves. So we're going to do the same thing. We'll have two coming out here. Actually, those are staying right there. So that's good. I'll put one because I have it like tucked under the tape a little bit. One there. That looks pretty good, right? Then we'll put two coming out the bottom here. I do want tape there. Like that. And then, what? Where'd it go? No, this one fell out. I gotta cut the tape there. So, well, I had that backwards. Just like that. Okay, the 3 go on the bottom, so I just got to remember that. Okay, 3 go at the bottom. Just like that, perfect. And now we are going to use adhesive to pop up. Thank you. I'm going to use foam tape. That is going to go right in the center, just like that. Now, the last piece is to put 2 black enamel dots in the middle of these flowers right here. And be sure to, embellish more, obviously, if you like. These were 2 little extra leaves, so we don't need those. And that is card 4. Love it. We made it. I'm so happy. Let me bring in all the cards again. And if you caught this late, the way you can get my cards are if you place an order with me any month, you place an order $25 or more, you automatically get the tutorial. I will send it to you via email for free. So whatever month you place an order with me, that is that month's class you'll receive the tutorial for. If you're on my team, you get all my tutorials. So once this is ready, if you're on my team, you will get this later today or tomorrow. I haven't finished the tutorial yet. Or on my website, craftydvusa.com, I sell the tutorials and I also sell pre-cut card kits. So this was card 4, fun. Card 3. So this we did the ink blending, like the blur blending. We used vellum here, tone on tone stamping, Stampin' Blends. Here's this card. We made the die cut masking using not masking, I keep saying masking, packaging tape to make shiny die cuts. And then on this is a bookbind card fold. And again, we did that tone on tone stamping and some embossing and coloring. So that is card 1. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. If you like this video, please share it. Give me a thumbs up. If you're watching the replay, leave me a comment. I love to interact with everybody. And my friends and customers that are watching me live, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a very, very crafty day. And if you have any questions about lovely arrangements, about any technique that you saw me do today, or any questions about Stampin' Up! In general, or if you want to join my team, this is a great month. Actually, you receive the Stampin' Positioner free for becoming a demonstrator. So I'd love to have you on my team. Have a very crafty day, everyone. Take care now.